Conn will share what he recently learned at the monthly National Speakers Association meeting of Georgia, of which our very own Kelly V is president, if you didn't know, and work through an exercise for insights that you might consider doing for yourselves soon. Get ready for a little show and tell, Conn style. Show and tell with Conn Jackson. Show and tell.
I love basketball. And he just mentioned two types of shots, right? The jumper, like 51% accuracy. The fadeaway, 41%. Us big men, we bring 90% accuracy with something called the dunk. Okay? Just feed the big men, and the score would be a lot higher. So, when you grow up taller, I'll teach you the dunk. One of the fascinating things we all get an experience to do is learn, right? And our learning experiences, Kim, if I could call you out for just a second, our experiences build something known as a brand strategy, a brand story. It's part of who we are. So how wonderful it is that you taught, and how wonderful it is that you rap, but now how do you tell that brand story to be that unique individual that then will take that next step? Saturday morning, 8:30, I never set my alarm clock before 8 on Saturday. This past Saturday, I don't know if you ever had this experience, you don't really want to do something, but something tells you you need to be there. That force came over me. That force came over me, and I had to listen to that little bird go, get up, get up. I didn't set my alarm, it was 8 o'clock, and I'm like, dang it. Sure enough, I headed off to a great organization which Kelly oversees called NSA, National Speakers Association. And there's a chapter here in Georgia which happens to be in Atlanta. And I had challenged myself recently to get back into the learning mode. And who better to hear the brand strategy story from than a gentleman who's been a vice president of Ogilvy and Mather, some of the biggest brands they oversee, telling the brand stories. And what he shared over those 3 hours, I like to just sum up in just a few minutes. Not only to reinforce my learning of it, but hopefully share with you not only that you may want to go to NSA meetings and meet incredible people. Several people in the room, Kim's going there, Tom, I've seen your face in there. But it really moved me to challenge me to start saying, who am I? So a couple things we'll do for fun. And the gentleman that came to speak, he came all the way down. Gary Lance is his name. And Gary Lance has given me permission, as long as I mention his name, mention his brand, has given us kind of a competitive brand story scan. I want to share this learning with you because I think it's going to be important in your learning to what is that one word that defines you. When someone thinks of you, Tom or Kelly or Joe, first thing might come leadership for me. Even though you have a sales book, maybe it's leadership sales. But what is that one word? So I want to practice something. People say turn off your cell phones, but when I go to meetings, I see everyone has their cell phone on, and I'm going to challenge you to text that number at some point now, which is welcome, turn on your cell phone, and just text that number, that's mine. What's one word you think that goes with Conn? Me. I'd be interested to just kind of get some interest. It's kind of the research that goes into understanding your brand. How do other people see you? And through that, you might come up with what he calls some fresh words to use. So if you don't mind, I'm going to hand out this form, and then we'll walk through a couple things that I took from this NSA meeting. The Speakers Association, I've come to learn, is they bring in great speakers that speak for maybe 2.5 hours on a subject matter that can help you in your speaking. So it's unlike Toastmasters where we get to practice like I am right now. But here, in this brand story, it requires you to go out and find 4 or 5 people, organizations that you think you want to be like You want to maybe mimic in some way because of their success. You're in the same field as they are. So I have a TV show. Ellen DeGeneres, Oprah Winfrey, Bill O'Reilly. Those are some of the ones that I go to their website often. What's their layout? How are they communicating their message? What is their message? Then I find some up-and-comers that you may not have known, but maybe on the magazines that I read, the up-and-coming new radio personality. How are they presenting themselves? This allows you to go out and do the homework. What words are they using? What is allowing you to separate maybe and take a word from here and a word from there and make your own brand, your one word? He's worked with organizations like Snickers. Well, you had people call out the different things, but their word right now is satisfied. You know, that they have Betty White playing football. What's wrong with you? You look like Betty White. And then they give him a Snickers, and then he gets the energy back, and he's a star football player. But each of us has that differentiator that's so important. What I learned at NSA is we all need a website. I'll tell you the 5 things these experts told us about the website. The 5 things that are important in the top of the fold. What the fold is what you see when you first land on the website. I would challenge you to look at your website today. They actually took mine and threw it up there. I got some great feedback, of which I'll have a new website due to this. What are the 5 things I'd like to see on your website? They shared value proposition. It's almost your one word. What people expect from you. That brand story. My brand story was able to be enlightened because I was an investment banker on 9/11, which you guys have heard that story. I was an investment banker on 9/11. 9/11 happened, and I decided to go make a difference, and I didn't know why there wasn't more positive entertainment. Well, he heard that, and he says, you know, Conn, your Disney background is about fairy tales. Yeah, well, what do you mean fairy tales? He goes, your passion is to find real-life fairy tales and bring them to life. Each one of you has struggled at some point. You know, Tom, you said the hard work to get to a certain point. Well, Tom, you know, I know Tom as PowerPoint genius. So that's how my one or 2 words that go together. But if I need anything with PowerPoints, man, I know that's my man. I'm going right there. If I want a rapping comedian, that's where I come for you right now. Because you got all excited about 2 times you were like, I'm going to be a Channel 46 and whatever, New York Life, and I'm excited about that. And then you just kind of moved on. That's how I see you right now. That's what I would text you. So as I work through this exercise, is that value proposition, how you see someone. So you come to the website, the value proposition is there, and it's kind of short. My value story is pretty interesting because I did work at Disney. And I really did want to tell a positive story. And the term may not be fairy tales in itself, but it is finding those real life examples of people that have struggled like Cinderella and found their passion or what that is. And I thought it was really fascinating to refreshen my story, refreshen the brand. So the things was a value statement. When I landed on the webpage, it was a value statement. And then for us in the speaking world, it would be actual speaking footage. Actually, you in action. I want to see that right of it. Or it could be a picture too with, you know, artistic picture, like we could do one in the room. I was thinking, wow, if we kind of took it from this angle, it looks like I got a full room from the side, you know, and there must be 10,000 people out here. But, you know, those things that bring that credibility right. Wow, I've spoken to a lot of people. Testimonials was the 3rd thing. Someone of influence. Ron Chapman's a best-selling author. No reason to have 2 words, delighted, satisfied, whatever, from Ron Chapman, best-selling author. But some sort of testimonial. Mine happens to be, I was very lucky to get one from Yo-Yo Ma. The other was a phone number. Gotta see it, don't make them hunt for it. It's just boom, call Ron. 1-800, whatever it is. Even though you have a contact us and go on, now just make it easy. This is what I'm sharing from experienced people that are booking speaking and brands and everything else. They know where to go. How frustrating when you go to a site, sometimes for me in an airline. How do I get to an operator or something? But that was really big. And maybe the 5th thing was an opt-in box. give them a chance to follow you, give them a chance. They want to see what your content is, and they felt those were the 5 most important things about the fold. I'm going to give a gift. I'm going to read it, but there's someone in our class, someone in our group, has written a book called Mental Toughness, 101. Anyone know who wrote that? Greg. Maybe you know. But because Tom called you out, I think you need that book. But there are resources in here, and I went, and I literally will buy from you any book that you write. I bought Falling Up from Conn and Carey, who's in your group. This guy, Mike Ween, I read his book this weekend. I'm constantly in that learning mode, to better myself and refine that one word. So when you think of Conn Jackson, you know exactly what I do. So I hope you learned something from NSA. Maybe you'll join it. Maybe you'll try to challenge yourself to take some of the knowledge that I learned. But do these little surveys. Look what your competitors are doing, and then it will set you apart in your strategic edge. Thanks so much.